Alright, welcome back to my world on Planet Crafter. And things just keep getting better and better. I want to do another broadcast because I've got to a point where things are, well, pretty downright amazing, and kind of sit back and reap the rewards at this point. So, wow, where to start? Well, first off, the plant looks great. Nighttime, but it's plants and flowers and insects everywhere. Can't wait till morning light here. Oh, it's still there. I want to get to my main base. Something about dark, it's hard to find your way around. Alright. I got a destructor here which breaks things down into its components, so if I ever have to worry about the fact that, oh no, I've made all my uraniums into uranium rods, or all my iridiums into iridium rods, now I can put them in there and break them down into their components, or same with super alloy rods if I need super alloy. So now I can go back and forth, which is kind of cool. The fact that we can do that with uranium rods is great, because before, if I ran out of uranium, it was kind of, up Uranus. Sorry. So anyways, just to refresh everything here, I keep my all my sulfur and extra seeds, which I don't really have a use for. No one really does, because how many food generators do you need? My ore, aluminum especially, because that has to be, it's hard to find. You have to travel to find it. Here I keep extra water, food, which, as you'll see, is getting less and less critical at this point. Here I keep my specialty goods like osmium and zeolite, and these pulsar quartz are great now because there's a new power nuclear fission generator that needs 5 of those purple things, pulsar quartzes, and 4 super alloys, and produces ridiculous amounts of power, like stupid amounts of power. So you build one of those and you got power for ages, and you can find these things just laying on the ground in the right places, in the meteor falls and stuff. So it's like, and in bases. So wow, this Warden's key is interesting. There's a quest chain involving using these Warden's keys to unlock a bunch of altars where you get to see a bunch of the game you can't get to except on the quest chain, and of course leads to achievement, and just some cool stuff, which I don't know all the details. I haven't done it yet, but I'm looking forward to doing that at some point. And it doesn't seem to take that long, but it's an interesting side quest they've already built into the game. Anyways, that's my specialty goods. And in here we have where I keep my main goods, my uranium rods and iridium rods, iridium and uranium, just my and super alloys, the main things I need pretty much all the time. And then of course I have my bio facility. And here's of course all my stuff. There's that purple reactor here. Just that little thing right there produces stupid amounts of power. And if I want water, of course I've got the main water producer, which produces up to 4. And I got this one in the water here, the lake one, that produces up to 7 at a time, or 8. So lots of water when I need it. I got an algae producer over here, and one over on the far lake on the other side of the base. I can produce lots of algae, which is quite useful now with space trading, which I'll get to after. Anyways, this is my biology center. It's grown quite a bit. Main area, of course, is my lab, which allows me to produce very important key components like the new high quality food with honey and beans. And of course all these components are critical for different biology functions and rockets and that sort of thing, so and other things as well. This is here how you can manipulate seeds into tree seeds. And I got this here to manipulate larvae into different types of larvae, I guess, to produce different types of bugs, insects. Of course my bio supplies, actually broke down and made a sign because it's frustrating me, where I keep algae and larvae and of course extra supplies and some of my most important seeds and tree bark, which I'll show you how to get that in a moment. And then of course extra food I keep in here. You actually need eggplants and mushrooms quite a bit for certain recipes, for construction of things you need to do other things besides eating, and they're not food related. And then of course squash has a recipe too, but I haven't. Don't think I've ever made any of those. And then in here is the biodome, of course, where you can keep track of all your biology developments. Still only scratching the surface, but I've got insects going up here and plants going up and biomass, so going to unlock a lot of recipes, which are some cool things to come, which I'm looking forward to. And of course my food producers. This is actually my first level 2 one. It grows faster, so I put my beans, which is my most valuable food. Not that it really matters. I never need food in a hurry anyways. Ooh, a little larvae in my base. Common larvae. And then if I have a food producer over here. And then I don't need the food right now. And then 4 in the middle. So I get 6 food at a time, and we never have an issue with food. I've always have way more than enough. And then here is my biodome 2, which, as I was saying last time, sadly a waste of a whole dome just to produce tree bark. But you do need tree bark quite a bit, so I mean you gotta have it. It's a necessary evil. And then of course my butterfly dome, where I've actually got butterflies, which is really cool because it's good to finally have insects that I control and that are, you know, at my beck and call. And I have a couple of larvae. I can put different ones in here for different butterflies. Other than that, this really doesn't have any use. It's just for butterflies. And of course, one other biology-related thing is my beehive, which our beehive is outside here. I will show. I love flying around my rocket pack. It's so nice to get around that way. There's my beehive, and there's bees, so other insects I control. And of course this gives you honey, which you can then use, as I was saying, to build or to craft a really nutritious food. So let's go make one. That's why I grabbed the beans in the first place. And of course they'll spawn back quickly, so a person could just grab beans and honey all the time in a level 2 food processor and just make lots of this high quality food. You can also use it for trading, but I'll don't want to get too far ahead of myself. And of course I have different colored beacons. My base is a nice light green color for my favorite football team, the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And then my other ones are all my ore producers. That yellow one there is one produces my sulfur. I'm going to show those off in a minute. Everything we need. Yeah, now we're ready for sojourn. Oh, and this is the cool thing now that I've got my my water filter, which is I crafted. Now I can just drink from the lake. So that's nice. I might as well eat some food and fill up. Also, creating oxygen is kind of a pain. But it's a little easier now. I don't have to get cobalt all the time, so I have this gas extractor. And in here, it doesn't produce a lot of oxygen. It only produces these methane cartridges, and I have way too many of these. So conveniently, I built my my shredder machine right next to it. And I can just drop the stuff I don't need into here. Pretend it's a garbage disposal or an incinerator. I always like incinerators, so I can go, what are you incinerating? Of course, I can put lots of other stuff in here too. Incinerators are quite, or these shredder machines are quite useful for getting rid of anything that you get too much of at times and you just don't need. So, anyways, that's my main base. Now I have my external parts that I need to go to constantly. First off, of course, my aluminum kills producer. I think I might have gone over these couple of these last time. My first video, but actually I could build one of those incinerator destroying things here and not have to pile up my ore. It looks disgusting, but I don't necessarily need to. And of course I can get all my aluminum here, so never need to worry about aluminum anymore. If I can ever get my T3 one, which I'm trying to unlock, then I could put this here and then it'll all be just pure aluminum. But it's nice to have these ones because they do produce iron and titanium and stuff, and cobalt. Nice to have access to these once in a while, so it's good to have ones that aren't T3 too. And of course T2 ones are needed for more advanced ores. And over here, I don't bother putting a beacon there. What you beacon at? Oh, what's this? Are you kidding me? Pulsar quartzes just laying on the ground, and I can use these to make another one of those super power plant thingies. Oh, wow. We're gonna have stupid amounts of power. Unbelievable. Just something meteor must have crashed or something. Wow, just laying in the middle of the area right by my base. That's amazing. That's the nice thing about this point in the game too. Things just start to fall into your lap from meteors and stuff. They just keep crashing. In here, of course, is the red ore, and of course I have my producer here for my iridium. If I can gather my iridium and anything I don't want, I can, just like before, I can throw it off into a pile. These are a couple places I should really build a one of those recycling things. But it's such a shame to make these big messes. Probably one of these days I probably will, but I'm just too lazy because throwing them on the ground, it's not hurting anyone any. I don't know if I can get back without having to use an oxygen tank. Now I'll show you my specialty ore producers, because I have access to, except for, I'm going to search for Z, the white ore. I have access to anything I need, really, in one place or another, and it's a quick trip to almost any of it. So I'll show you what I mean, being nice and central located. And oxygen up. I can't believe I got a bunch of that. I need to build a power plant. May as well. I could probably do 2. Damn, that's great. I'm gonna have such sick amounts of power very soon. This zeolite, but it's kind of spawns everywhere at this point, so really zeolite's not something I need to have a special producer for. So how much is the special power plant? 5 pulsars and 4. I need to grab more of these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could do 2. And I really don't have a place to keep these pulsar quartz. Do I have enough to do 2 like right now? Oh yeah, of course I do. Remember I was saying I can break down one of these things. Push the button. So I'm going to leave that there. Or maybe I'll grab the aluminum and put it away. But I don't have room for 8 of these. I guess I can grab a couple for now. I'm going to go build 2 of these. I'm going to have so much power, it's not even going to be funny. Stupid amounts of power. This is one recipe that I can't believe they actually put in the game. It's so OP. And I literally OP because it's overpower. It is a power generator. That's going to be so ridiculous how much power I have. Okay, so we can build another one. They're nuclear power generators. I hate just throwing them out in the middle of anywhere, but the reality is, I don't think they melt down. At least not that I've ever heard. Oh, and yeah, one purple short. Thought I had enough. But really, I don't know what else you do with these purple crystals, so... And I have no room to store them. So what the hey? I might as well build stupid amounts of power plant. Never have to worry about power ever again. Not that I really have to at this point anyways. What's going on? How did... I was too short? I'm confused. I thought I said it was 1 short. Okay, I mean, really, like I said, really... I don't have a use for these at this point, and if I did, I'll go to Meteor Falls, and I'm sure I could grab a few more if I need them. I mean, they're in bases and stuff too, so there we go. Now check this out. This is going to be almost laughable how much power reserve I have. Like, have you ever seen the powers or the people, you know, struggling over power and having to create new plants all the time? Look at this. I have 3,763.15 kilowatt hours available. That is a stupid amount of power. Grab a drink. Okay. So I might as well, while I'm at it, show the tech trees. Or oh, and also I should show, I don't know if I mentioned this last time, once you've launched all your satellites, you can get pretty much a full map of the world when you use your view screen, and it even shows you where all your ore locations are for building ore mining, automatic mining ones. Of course, most of them need a T2. The only ones that need a T1 are just the aluminum and the aluminum hills. Everything else needs a T2. Oh, and of course you can zoom out, or you can zoom in, I should say, and get closer looks. If you build these in different places, you can get various looks of detail. So this map is actually pretty useful, but you got to get you have to launch all 4 of your T4s to get to this point, or the Ts to get to this point, and then 1 for the detail. So 5 rockets you got to launch to get to this point. So it's a lot of work. I wouldn't prioritize it, but it's something that is worth it in the long run. Got lots of interesting messages. And as you can see, I'm coming along nicely in all my trees. I officially hit over 10 GTI in my terraform index, and I'm at the stage of larvae turning into breathable atmosphere. So very soon I'm going to have a breathable atmosphere. I'm at 10%, so it'll take a while, but that's the nice thing about the passive nature of this game. But anyways, as you can see, the basic trees, I've almost everything done. Auction still has a tree spreader at 6 parts per million. We're over halfway there now. Better tea spreader. And then the water life collector for getting fish eggs. So now we're getting into the animals, which I'm really looking forward to getting frogs and fish. Heat I've already done. That's just basically keeping it up. If I increase it, it's to keep things in balance to my overall terraformation moves in the right direction. And then pressure, I'm waiting for that T3. And that's a long one. I'm only at 5 PA, and that takes a long time to get up now. So this is a waiting game for my T3. But once I get these T3s, and I can get exactly the ore I want in the areas I want. So then I'll be able to get just aluminum, just iridium, just uranium and stuff like that, which will be very efficient and I know it'll fill up, and I only have to go get it when I need it, so I'll never have to worry about maintaining those, I guess is the word. And then of course up in the terraforming, my next one is teleportation at 25, so that's exciting. And not that the world's that big that you need to teleport much, but it'd be kind of neat to have fast travel. Tree spreader, T3, etc. And of course this goes up into the animals tree, so eventually you get to a point where this will help get to the animals level too, because the animals are a tricky one. If you look in the biology ones, biomass, I've only just really scratched the surface. Heater T5. I'll come out. Yeah, sure.
Did you hear the dog?
Yeah, I heard him. And so even a drill T5. So some of these are actually for terraforming, but for the most part, these are for getting plants and animals. And then the plant tree, I'm just about done. No, I got a lot left to do. And eventually these plant trees lead into more animals. But first, of course, insects also have to go up, because insects also open up animals. Actually, plants I don't think opens up much for animals at all. It doesn't look like it does. Plants is more just for more plants. Although, and insects. But anyways, insects leads slowly into animals when you get to a certain level too. So basically, by developing your 3 biology ones, you eventually will have animals, and which is frogs and fish and stuff. At this point, I have 0 animals because I have not got to that point where from these 3 where I unlocked animals. So that's the last stage, is to get to the point of animals, which is a goal. So anyways, that is a look of where I'm at in terms of getting on with the game. You can see, of course, I can show my crafting recipes. I've already created an exoskeleton T3 is what allows me to have so many items on me. And then, of course, the super crafter keeps getting new things as well. Added the air filter and the water filter recently, and so you can build all kinds of great things here. Backpack T5. I'm pretty sure that's my backpack, right? T5. Yeah. So eventually you unlock more of those too, and have even a bigger backpack. But so, anyways, that's all about the base. And now I'm gonna show my my ore producer. So that yellow one is so prominent. I love the way it stands out, and how quick it is to get to the sulfur producer. I mean, all these are really quick. It's amazing. The game's laid out really nicely, where once you know where you're going, and of course the beacons only help to make sure you don't take inefficient directions, but you don't need them. I mean, they're really easy to find. So anyways, you got to go into this cave. It's so dark. And just a quick fly through the cave, and almost before you can even breathe oxygen, bang, you're out into the sulfur field. And there's my sulfur producer. And of course I build a little base here where I can store stuff. And then with these ones, because I don't have a T3 yet, and you get this other garbage, I build a recycling thing right next here, or I keep forgetting the name of it. I want to call it incinerator, but the open shredder machine here, so I can quickly get rid of the garbage and keep allowing it to fill up with what's good. So that's sulfur. Don't have to sit around in sulfur without it. You don't need a lot of sulfur. I got way too much sulfur, so really it's almost gets optional at one point if you get enough of it, but nice to know I have access to it. And then of course everyone loves super alloys, and of course you need to make super alloy rods. I actually can build a automatic producer if I wanted to. Well, I'll explain when I get there. I actually have my have a producer. If I put some aluminum in a container nearby, I could actually have a producer turning every 8 super alloys into an alloy rod. And I think I'll do that once I get a T3, because T3s are always super alloys. So I'll make a super alloy T3 just for super alloys, and then I'll know, and I'll just keep filling up the a container with aluminum, and then I'll know that I'll fill up with super alloy rods too. And so then I'll have a holder with all super alloys and a holder with all super alloy rods at some point, which is a pretty cool idea. You can do the same with uranium and uranium rods, and then you can do also the same with iridium and iridium rods if you want. But like I said, iridium is just so plentiful. I just don't really have any reason to need to do that. But so anyways, here's just around the outside. Here's the only spot where you can build the super alloy one. Lots of super alloy, but all this garbage too here. Let's get rid of the garbage. I don't want to get rid of cobalts because I still need oxygen a lot, and cobalt is a pain to go find. And once again, I don't want all this garbage, so I'm just gonna... What are you incinerating? Maybe that produced afterwards. Grab enough of these to make another alloy rod, eh? Might as well while I'm here. Oh, oxygen. I might as well eat one of these good foods too. So that's super alloy. And you see, it's really quick and easy. You might recognize the desert here that you can see just from, well, not too far from the starting zone, but of course, as I mentioned, I built my base just up from the starting zone on higher ground, even closer to this area. And of course, that's where I built my rocket launcher. And you might see another launch pad not far from that. That's my trading launcher, which I'll get to at the end, because that's a new feature I just unlocked, and some potential. Only a limited amount of recipes, but they're really rare recipes, like a cooking stove, so you can actually cook food. I don't want to spoil too much of that. I'll get to that in not too long. I guess I'm good with the oxygen, so I'm going to just keep going. So now I will show you how easy it is to get uranium. So you don't have to run out of uranium and be up Uranus. Or up the creek without a paddle, I guess. Yeah, just fly right through aluminum hills. And it's a little tricky because it's such a small cave you gotta, or little gully you gotta go through, or inlet, or I don't even want to call it. But I know I have a little base somewhere in here, but I need to skip that, or I guess not, just that there's this thing here. You gotta skip that and you gotta go straight to the wall. And you'll see it's kind of subtle. And you're heading east, and you get direct east, and you got to go through this little gully here. If you don't know what to look for, you could easily miss it. And then right through here, you'll see my green marker, because there's another little tight squeeze here right into the uranium area. So that's how you get uranium. See, it's all green in here. All the uranium you could want. Of course, once again, it's a T3, so got all this garbage. And I think you get the idea. Clean it out all the time so you get more. So eventually it'll fill with pure uranium. If you don't, these things will keep hogging space. The T3 one only produces uranium. Slow process, but you don't have a lot of space. And cobalt's good, so I'll leave the cobalt in there. Anyways, I'm just cleaning it out a little bit. So yeah, uranium. And then back to the west. Oh, might as well go into the base here and fill my oxygen. This one is a tight squeeze, so I have my first dual layer base. Double decker. I got a regular producer, and then up top I have my open locker. And because I want to be able to produce uranium rods quickly, I built a super crafter here so I can make uranium rods. Not have to transport all the uranium piece by piece, but you can turn it into rods. And once again, you could transport it back to your base, and if you just wanted the uranium, you could break the rod back into its pieces, because I have the recycling thing inside the middle of my base. So turning these things into their bigger, their rod form is actually pretty smart. It's a great way to save space and carry more. Yeah, I just thought of that. Okay, and then finally, I have my blue ore one, and that is, I think we can get there from up here. But really, it's just actually across the lake. Okay, what's doing? I believe there's a way. I don't know. I mean, I know there is a way, but it might not be worth the trouble. Little flight across the desert. I'm just didn't want to have to remember which way was back into the uranium base. I'm just going around, just going back to Meteor Fall, or to Aluminum Hills. And then I'll show you the way I would normally take to the blue ore mine. I'm going to find a lake and get a drink. Alright, this T3 jetpack is sure a lot of fun to fly with. So fast. My aluminum producer. Here's a lake, and here's my other, actually I'll show you my other algae crater. And these things produce a ton of algae, so, which are actually going to be useful for trading. Because algae allows you to produce bacteria or whatever it is, which is the easiest thing to produce, which is an easy way to quickly get trade goods for tokens to get all those recipes. But here, let's just nip in and let my oxygen fill, and I'll show you the way to the blue base. So yeah, there's a way around. Everything connects to everything else if you want. But to get to the blue base, all I do normally is just fly across the lake here. Over my algae producer. And you can already see it. See the dark marker? I put the marker outside of the cave, so it would be easy to spot from anywhere. You can see just to the left there is the see they're not far between the green uranium mine and the blue mine. Oh yeah, see, I was in this. I think I wasn't. I not in this spot. Maybe I wasn't. But anyways, you fly through these sticks. Have a little base here, and there's my beacon, and then in here is the iridium or the blue ore mine. Also, lots of red ore here as well. I think you can do a red ore mine maybe, but I don't know. But anyways, here's the blue ore. See? Osmium, that's the blue ore. Once again, it's because it's T2, you got to clean it out. T3 one will prevent that. But yeah, see, I have access to every kind of ore I need. And like I said, everything, all the crap, I just throw into the incinerator here. See how these automatic ore producers are amazing. And maybe there might be a place where you can produce the white ore, the Z. But like I said, there's so much of it, and there's even caves with it. That you just don't. I also don't think you need to. There's not enough things that use it at this point. Maybe later on. So, anyways, last thing I'll show you is a quick tour of all the rockets I can launch, and then I'll show you trading, and then that's pretty much it. Because at this point, it's the waiting game. I have a long time to wait until I get my T3. That's the first thing I'm looking for, a T3 miner. If I can really revolutionize my mining. And then I need eventually to get high enough to start getting the things I need to make animals. Because insects keep growing at a pretty fast pace. Plants, maybe I could grow more, but so the nice thing about this game is you can go more or less, or you could play passively or whatever at this point, at any point. But particularly now, which is why I want to do this video, is that a lot of these things are just happening without me having to do anything. Same as my rocket launcher, and this is one of the ways I could speed things up. I could do a asteroid rocket, which is the way to get uranium early on before you have a mine. And also it does 1,000 bonus for heat, but I don't need heat anymore, so launching it is not really a priority. Magnetic field protection rocket is for pressure, and also it causes asteroids with iridium. I have tons of iridium, I don't need that anymore. Plants rocket is a newer one. That one uses different things, see tree bark, those seed lermas, a fertilizer, a couple of super allies. This one here gives 1,000 multiplier to plants, so I might need to do a few of these to get plants moving, because that'll help me get towards animals quicker, I think. Seed spreader is how you get actually oxygen, and that came really late. And that's why oxygen took me a long time to really get moving. And that one is using things that are from plants. Tree bark, mutagen, bacteria sample, the two you create in the biolab, and then the tree bark from the dome tube. Anyways, that gives you 1,000 oxygen. And then the 4 GPS satellites, they take a lot, so you got to keep building these stupid compasses. even because you need multiples for each. So all 4 of these, and then you start using super alloy rods and circuit boards, which you have to actually grind down machines and bases to get them most of the time. But there are enough machines in the bases that you get lots of circuit boards really quickly once you have your level 2 deconstructor, so you don't have to worry too much about these. You'll get them soon enough. That's why I say don't spend a lot of time on these early on. Just take it as they come, but at some point when you can do them, it really is worth it for that great mapping. The map information rocket's the final piece. That's what gives you the marks that shows you what areas for ore and mines. And then finally the drones visualization rocket. And this I don't need yet because I don't have any drones. It's one other thing I gotta unlock is drones, because then drones can do automatic work for you. Gotta get some oxygen here. So anyways, that's the main rockets you can launch. I don't know if there's any others at this point, but the one for everything, which is pretty cool. And the drones, of course, once I have drones, I can automatize mining even better. But then this is the new trading system. I think this is the last thing they've built. So in this rocket here, you can start putting things that are valuable, and you can actually launch it when you want, or you can have it only launch when it's full. That's why I have it set that way, a choice. But you can see all these things are valuable. So uranium rods are 8 tera, but those are so valuable to making nuclear power plants. I guess now, though, I have the purple ones. Maybe I might start thinking of using some of the uranium rods. Iridium rods are easy to make and cheap. So this would definitely, if you make a rare ore mining, this would definitely be very efficient. And I sent a bunch of these up because of that. Super alloy rods, at this point I don't see them being valuable. And only 6 tokens. The uranium rods at least are 8. So really, why would you send a super alloy rod, which are more useful, when you could send an iridium rod, which is far more plentiful? Of course, you need, and then rocket engines, you can just send them by themselves. So if you get an abundance of those, or you can make them for fairly cheap, 13 tokens each. And then of course the high quality food, which is the honey and beans. If you make a bunch of food processors and beehives, beehive, you could definitely make a bunch of these. Or bacteria sample, and this one's the easiest, I think, because it's just 3 water, which I get tons of water, and 3 bacteria, which I get algae, which I get tons of algae with my 2 algae producers. So really, I think this one's the easiest and most efficient. So my first rocket had, 6 or 7 iridium rods, and the rest bacteria samples. And that's why I got 150, because they're all 6, and you fill up your rocket with 15, 20, 25 times 6 is 150. So that's why you get that amount. But see, all these recipes here, I mean, some of them are pretty cool. And there are probably going to be more coming too. Cocoa seeds and wheat seeds. When you have an outdoor farm, you can create some unique outdoor foods. Cooking stations, what I'm going to make first, because then you can cook food. And I don't know if I can cook food yet, if I have anything worth cooking or capable to be cooked, but I'd like to try. Then smart fabric, I'm sure, is used to make customizable sofas and beds. I don't know what customizable means. Color, maybe? I don't know. You can make it look the way you want. Either way, sofas and beds are just really for show, so I haven't done a lot of that myself. Maybe I'll make a cozy home base just for the sake of having a place that feels like home. I don't know. My base... And there's no sleeping in this game, so really my base suits me fine. I just put a bed in there just to... Because, I mean, you should have a bed in real life, even if you don't use it. It's kind of like at home, I have beds and I never use them. Tree seed rosea, because there's lots of different tree seeds you can make if you want to customize your trees. Some fish eggs for customizing different types of fish. Butterfly eggs. Frog eggs when you get to animals. And then locker storage T2, so you can make a bigger storage chamber. That's how you do that. You need 5,000. It'll take a lot to get that one, but then you have bigger storage containers. 3x3 living compartments, so even bigger main home base. Like I have a 2x2 is the main part of my base with an extra couple extensions built on. Drone T2, so better drones. That's how you do that. You need 12,000. So it's a lot of work, man. This is grinding, but you can do it, and really simple things to make. You can make them in abundance, and if you have automatic ore producers, you can produce all 3 of these constantly and have 25 in each of them, and you go back and just mine them every now and again. So once again, another passive system. And of course, bacteria samples, you gotta I think you gotta make it yourself. I don't know if you could automatize that. And high quality food, well, need lots of food producers and lots of beehives for honey. Rounded living compartment, so a rounded shaped one. for 15,000. Kind of neat to have a base that's more aesthetically pleasing, maybe. And then living purple with dome. So actually, you can have a dome ceiling. I mean, you can have glass roof, and you'll see my base is all glass roofs now too. I thought it was a neat touch. But you actually make one that's totally a dome to live in. Man who lives in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. So I don't know. But anyways, 25,000 for that. So you can see this is a interesting system for grinding. When you're done all everything else in the game, you just keep building stuff and creating these. So interesting idea. I'm tempted to explore some of these ideas as I go forward in the game. And that's the last thing I want to show you. So yeah, I just built this recently. Needed some of those green circuit thingies. 4 of them, or 3 of them, I believe, or 4. Here, it'll tell me. 3 of them, and then a super alloy rod, a uranium rod, and a rocket engine. But yeah, it's worth it in the long run. First off, I'm gonna get my cooking stove, and that'll be kind of neat to be able to cook food and try something different. Anything else interesting here? Of course, the main nuclear reactor is more expensive to make than the purple one. If you go and you find more of these purple pulsar quartzes, so that's a nice touch. View screens, nothing has changed. Of course, the beehive was just added in the incubator and the tree spreader. You'll see I have a tree spreader. I guess I never showed that. And then, of course, the gas extractor is how I get oxygen now, or most of my oxygen. And DNA manipulator to make regular plant seeds into tree seeds. Which way is home? This way. Yeah, I do have a tree spreader. I could build more. I'm really the cause of my plants going up so slowly, because, I mean, you're supposed to build these tree spreaders all over the place on water, near the edge of the water, so you can grow more trees all over the place and put different types of seeds in and grow all kinds of cool trees on your own. But really, I've been kind of lazy, because trees are not really all that exciting to me. They're pretty, don't get me wrong. But anyways, yeah, now I'm at the passive component, because I could do just nothing. And the base continues to grow and develop, and eventually I'm going to unlock most things in the game, even if I didn't do another thing. And eventually I'm going to have animals. When I get the T3 ore miner, I'm definitely going to want to put that into place. So that's definitely something that's coming. But really, yeah, I could sit and watch these things grow for hours and just make sure I don't starve to death or run out of water. And eventually these things are going to unlock everything. Even if sometimes it is slow. This one's now only going to go up to 11. Wonder how long it'll take. And we got to get to 25. There it is, for the teleporter speed travel. But you saw I can get everywhere in not very long, so I'm not sure where I would teleport to. But we'll see. And more tree spreaders, so you can get more trees. Yeah, really, it's just, and of course the biggest one, of course, is my ore extractor T3. But I'm at 5.3 to get to 13.3, so yeah, still a ways to go. But it keeps going up slowly, so I can just sit and enjoy the fruits of my labor now, or I could fire off more rockets or create more things, try to speed things up. Really, the choice is mine, but all the hard work I've done have pretty much opened up a really nice open book kind of game. And that's the nice thing about this game. It has some of the charmed elements of passive games that you play on your phone. But at the same time, there's lots of active things to do to keep you busy if you want to speed the game along. You're not having to buy extra purchases to make the game go faster. You just have to do stuff, play the game, which is what they should want you to do. Not all those other games, their model is to anything they can do to make you spend money. They want to do that. Let's make make back our super alloy rod. 5, 6, 7, 8. So I only need 8, but I need an aluminum. And then we're going to call it an episode, because really, I said I don't want to steal too much of my pal Darkularity's thunder. He's doing a really good series. Check it out, one piece at a time, showing you every step of the way. I'm just wanted to give you a couple of cool overviews of what this game is, and try to show you why this game is worth playing. I've only been playing 30 hours, or 40 hours, 50 hours, I guess it was 50 hours, and I've done a lot of cool stuff. And the game has never been boring through all this time. I gotta get me some more osmium, one of these. Oh no, osmium. Never mind, osmium upkeep here. I don't want to name it. I wish the naming thing would be harder to hit. If I wanted to name my thing every time I went near it, I'd probably not be happy with myself. But anyways, there we go. But yeah, no, I'm gonna wrap it up there. I just wanted to give you a cool overview, and I could just sit back and watch my base develop, watch my world develop. Once again, this is Daniel Jobber, aka Bad Player 03. You can follow me on Instagram, and I'm gonna get it right this time, at Daniel Jobber, all lowercase letters, and on Twitter at Daniel Jobber, capital D, capital J, and of course Daniel Jobber is DANIEL JOBBER, and of course you can also, if you want, I suppose you can email me at danieldanieljobber@gmail.com if you wanted. That's but make sure you at least I'm assuming you're watching this on YouTube, because I don't see you here on Twitch, where I record these live typically. So make sure you punch the like and subscribe buttons, and of course check out my Twitch channel where I record these live on Daniel Jobber, Twitch, Daniel Jobber. So, but anyways, I'm going to call it a video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Probably back to Occupy Mars, I think, at this point. But anyways, you have a great day. Jobber out.